So now we're going to do the outer wrap. Okay? At Sheridan, we teach you always to do 2 wraps. I have got the muslin, and if you want to take a look at this, the muslin tends to be lighter on the inside, a little bit darker on the outside. But you can use either the muslin or the cotton surgical sheets. I'm going to use one of each just to show you.
Doesn't matter if it's inside out.
It does matter if it's inside out. So make sure you're watching for that if you're using the muslin. Now this sheet is not cut perfectly square, which is going to make it a little bit of a challenge for me to wrap, but nonetheless we can get our tabs in. I like to set it in as close to the shape of a diamond as possible, which I've done with this. And with my surgical gown ready to go, I would rather sit it more oblong than sit it like this. I find this doesn't wrap as nicely. You can do it, but take my advice, it's easier. Now before I start wrapping this, what do I need to do? Steam cloth, right? So I'm going to use one of our new ones. I'm going to put that, I don't know exactly where the center is, but I'm going to go as close to the center as I can in there. All right? And then we're going to start our wrap. So again, I'm forming tabs, and these tabs are almost pointing, it's almost like they're saying, pull this way to open. Okay? So here's my first tab. It's usually started, the one end closest to you, and then I'm going to make my tab. Watch your tabs. They shouldn't be folded over the end here. That video we watched, she actually made a smaller tab. She didn't have to with that pack. Like if the tab sits clearly on top of this, that's fine, but you develop your own skill. Either way, as long as that tab is pointing the right direction, saying this way to open. Okay? Then I'm going to go one side. There's my tab. Now this tab's going to be high just because of the cut of this. But I'm actually forming a little area where I can tuck pouch in. I'm going to take that tab back there. And then my last and final fold. Sarah, on the video we just watched, she did a little fold here. That's fancy. If you want to do that, that's fine. You don't have to, but it makes it nice and crisp. And then I take this last little bit and I tuck it right in. Okay? Now this should be tight enough that if I drop it, it does not fall apart, and we will check that. So if you're doing a sloppy job, I understand that this is new to you, but it must be tight enough that that holds together. Okay?
In the video, should have been a tab, so we can have a tab that size?
Yes.
Okay.
The one thing that I've noticed that students do that create problems is they tuck it down too far that you can't see this at all. Don't do that, because you need to be able to have that to open this pack. Okay? So I'm moving to another sheet. This one actually is a little bit better cut. It's a little better square, so I'm going to make my diamond pattern with this. Be careful when you're doing this inside that you don't flip it upside down. Because if the surgeon comes and they've washed up and they're ready to go, now they've got to pick this whole thing up and turn it over before they can unwrap it. So we want that tab up, and then away we go. And there's my tab. Tab, tab, and last but not least, I'm going to tab that in there. Okay? So that is perfectly fine as long as I can see that coming off. The other thing that you must remember to do, I thought I had autoclave tape here. I don't. So let's assume I've got autoclave tape. I'm going to take a strip. Because this is holding together on its own, I don't have to tape around.